altered scales, odd note groupings, string skipping, scale sequencing, and even some tapping. It's Metal Bass Monday, Shred Shed Edition. Let's get at it. All right, so let's take this apart a piece at a time and see what we're working with. So the first section is the main groove piece that repeats, and this is based off of a 5-note pattern. That's going to be the real tricky part of this, is because it's a repeating pattern that sounds like it's different each time, but it's just because of the rhythmic grouping. Instead of being an even 4, how most musical phrases we listen to are, or a 6, this one's in a 5, so it gives this kind of odd, staggered feel to it. This is based, well, the whole section and the whole solo piece is based out of E minor, but this is one place where I make an alteration. This part is actually an E harmonic minor. So let's take a look. It's a pretty simple idea, and let's go through a note at a time. So I'm starting with the open note here, and I'm going open, second, then to the major 7 on the D string, then I'm going to the 3rd, then up to the octave. So it's 5 notes all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a little bit of string skipping here and kind of a interesting grouping. So all together you get, right? Once more. Now, the reason why this has such an odd tumbling feeling is that because it's a 5, the downbeat keeps moving through where we're used to hearing it. So you get something that goes. So it has this weird tumbling type of feeling. But don't worry, it's just that pattern over and over again until you break from it. It doesn't change at any point. So again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's the same for both times that you hear it. It's the same section. So with that, let's get into the first riff. So now for the first run, we're going to go through a couple of scale sequences, and we're going to add some string skipping to that as well. So I'm going to start on F sharp here, which is right in the E minor scale, up on the 9th fret of the A string. And I'm going to do half step, whole step. That'll look like this. Then I'm going to skip this string, and I'm going to go all the way up to the top to the G and do the 9th, 11th, and 12th, which is whole step, half step, kind of the inverse of what we just played. Then I'm just going to go in a 3-note pattern straight down the scale. If you want to know the technical part of this, this is called the Locrian scale. Still fits inside of E minor. So we go. Okay. So that's how that's going to roll. And we're going to do kind of the same pattern, but moving up a step in our scale pattern. So all together, those two parts as we move up are going to look like this. Then we're going to move our hand and go. Okay. So again, same pattern type of sequence, but this one we're doing by starting on the 10th fret and going 2 whole steps. Then we're jumping to the G string at the 11th fret and doing a half and a whole sequence. Then we're coming back down. Then 14, 12, and 10, just like we did on this string. So here's the similarity in between them too, is on these two strings, the A and D, the sequence shape looks the same. It's only the G string that's different in both of these patterns. So if you look at it coming down, we have, then this is the same as this. And then on here, we have, then the next two strings are the same pattern. Right? So now we're going to be up into A on the 12th fret, and we're going to be more in the standard position of the E minor scale. So what we're going to do is go straight up the scale. Then we're going to slide up with the pinky to the 15th fret, back down. Then the last note we really hit by itself is on the 14th. So altogether you have okay. And then the last thing we do is with the pinky, we're going to jam this little double stop here. So that one altogether would go like this. So again, just a pretty standard scale sequence of just running up, moving position, and coming back down. I just add a little ending piece there to get everything kind of joined together and get back into the main groove. And now for the last piece. Again, a very simple idea. We're just doing a lot of fast stuff. It's usually, I find when you're playing things fast, you keep them simple or in some kind of symmetrical patterns you can remember, and that way you can rip through them a good bit quicker. Constantly random things, you got to be Alan Holdsworth for that stuff. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to look at our scale sequence. Again, going up just on the G string though, we're going to do, then we're going to go okay. And all we're doing is 2-note groupings of a tapping pattern, which I'm going to info card up there, a tapping video that I've done where you can clearly see this, and there's 2 much longer tapping exercise patterns based on the same kind of idea. So I'm just going kind of the Billy Sheehan, Elephant Gun, which we'll be getting into based on the same idea. So you get a, then you move this one up to here. So now you're at the 9th and 11th. Then you're at the 11th and 12th. 12th and 14th. 14th and 16th. And then we end with, again, a double stop, but we jam them with these 2 fingers. And you're out. So one last time. At slow speed. Then and that's our full sequence. So I hope this introduces a few new ideas and things into your toolbox. Again, I wanted to try and come across with some stuff that would challenge you, but not just challenge you as far as technique, but interesting ideas, being able to put different types of fills, moving from a tapping-oriented idea to really starting to get to know a little bit more about your neck and some scale ideas, things like that. If you're interested in understanding and getting a really deep knowledge of how I jump around and I can see the neck and things like that, I will be opening up some available slots to do my skeleton key system again. It's 4 in-person lessons and a book, and it's basically a system that you'll never play a wrong note again. You can visualize your entire fingerboard without ever missing a note. You'll understand probably more theory than anybody you'll ever play with, and you basically learn everything you need to know on the first page of the book. I think it's a really great system. It's done a lot for a number of people, and if you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at rodney@rodneymcg.com, and we'll see about getting you a slot. Again, 4 one-hour sessions, and you're rocking. So that kind of thing is what I wanted to open up here a little bit, and show you and unlock some of the parts of how to move around the fingerboard, how to alter a scale for a minute to get a different flavor, like with harmonic minor, using odd note groupings. So if you get this pattern down, you've actually gotten a lot in here. Again, something to do rhythmically and with grooves. Try experimenting with 5-note patterns. Being able to use something like harmonic minor and think a little bit differently. Being able to move around the neck and do scale sequences and move things up and down. And how to do some string skipping, and that's in both. So that on top of some tapping, which again, you can explore a little deeper in the other video, I think it gives a lot. And this is kind of the approach I'll be using for Metal Bass Mondays for a bit. Now, on top of that, patrons, thank you as always for being on board. And you're going to get a deeper video, which will go into some more of the depth of the concepts and how I put these things together, and some other tips and techniques like that. You're also going to get the drum track that I used underneath of this at 3 different speeds, so you can practice it at graduating tempos without having to time stretch it and that kind of thing. And if you do work on this, patron or not, and you get this stuff nailed down and want to show it off, absolutely link me in the comments and let me see your videos. I'd love to check them out and share them with everybody. And last up, what did you find interesting about this? Did some of it remind you of something? Do you have any questions about it? Or do you just want to talk chops or talk about how this was put together? Let's keep it going in the comments. I'd like to hear some feedback on it because I'll be doing these type of things a good bit more for a few weeks. And I always love the conversation. So that's it for Shred Shop number 1. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one.